Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel, and we talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you know you've come to the right place. We're so happy to have you here today, and today also happens to be Sci-Fi Sunday on this channel, where we talk about all things sci-fi, fantasy, and comic book related. And today we're going to be breaking down Stranger Things episode 1 through 4 of the final season. So this will contain spoilers. Let's jump right into it. Alright, so if you've been watching Stranger Things since its premiere, you know how crazy that series actually is. You know kind of what to expect. You know about Eleven and all of her powers and everything else that comes with the series. And if you don't, you really should watch the series. You should check it out. But for the sake of this video, we're going to assume that you not only have watched, but you are in fact caught up. So, from this point on, there will be spoilers. If you're not caught up on this very last season, then just go ahead, stop the video, watch it, because we're going to break down what's happened on the final season so far. We'll wait. Alright, if you're still here, this is where we start breaking down this final season. So far, we have 4 episodes that have come out. The other 4 are going to be in December, and the final one is around New Year's Eve. I think it is on New Year's Eve. So we're going to break those down as they happen. So this is what's happened so far. Stranger Things Season 5, the final season. Okay, so I'm not going to try to break down everything that happened in all 4 episodes, but I'm going to give you the highlights of what happened, and then I'm going to tell you what I think. So in episode 1 of Season 5, The Crawl, it begins with us seeing Will Byers, and he's been abducted by Vecna, and we get to kind of see what happened to him. Now, this is interesting because we didn't see all this happen before, but we see it happen now, and this is the footage by the producers, by Netflix. This is that footage that we've gotten to see before. So then we jump forward to November 3rd, 1987, 4 years after that flashback, and the Willers and the Byers now live together. So it's Nancy, Mike, Joyce, Jonathan, Will, Karen, Ted, and Holly. And the kids all listen to the Morning Squawk, which is on the radio station WSQK. And that is hosted by Robin and Steve. And Robin has been giving them updates on when the best time to go on their crawls are through the music on the station. Because they've been going into the Upside Down this whole time during the brief time that we haven't seen them. And they know that Vecna's alive, so they're trying to get to him and trying to stop him. At school, Dustin is being bullied for wearing the Hellfire Club t-shirt, and it's kind of weird because he has become Eddie, essentially. We see that Eleven has been missing this entire time, but Eleven hasn't really been missing. She's been in training. So all of a sudden, Robin tells them it's time to go in this episode, and they go. They have a little crawl, and this crawl doesn't necessarily go completely right. Holly Willer is speaking to someone only she could see. This teacher notices and calls her mom, but Holly says it's her imaginary friend, Mr. What's-It. And this is kind of a big thing because that's sort of where we're going with the season. And Mike kind of reassures her that everybody is afraid sometimes because Mr. What's-It has warned her that monsters are in Hawkins. And he introduces her to Dungeons and Dragons to help her feel stronger by giving her her own little mini. Now, we are introduced to Dr. K, this government scientist leading what is called the Wolf Pack, and she oversees experiments on the Demogorgon inside the military's upside-down base. So they actually have a base. And Hopper tells Eleven that she can join this crawl when she completes a certain time, but then he kind of doesn't want her to go that far. Will and Lucas are visiting Max at the hospital, and And Lucas is playing Running Up That Hill for her, which has kind of been her theme. Will sees Robin kissing Vicky and then runs away. Dustin is cleaning Eddie's old grave, which has been vandalized. Only this time he finds blood on it and realizes that the snake he put in the bully's locker earlier on in the episode has been killed, and this is that snake's blood. He's then beat up, and this kind of takes him out of the crawl. Now the rest of them are preparing for the crawl, and Dustin is missing. Inside the crawl, kind of everything happens. Hopper's truck crashes. Will collapses, and he says it's Vecna again. Will tells the group that this creature is heading towards Nancy's house, which prompts Nancy to rush home. The episode ends at the Wheeler home, where Holly notices the lights turning on and off, the cracks in her ceiling spreading, and the Demogorgon breaks through her room, and that's where the first episode ends. And the second episode is the Demogorgon breaks through and goes through the bathroom door. Karen and Holly are in hiding. Karen kind of takes up her hand and tries to fight him off, but she fails. Both of the parents end up in the hospital, and of course, Holly is kidnapped. Nancy and Eleven arrive. Eleven goes into the Upside Down to try to find her, and she runs into Hopper. But at the hospital, Mike apologizes to Nancy for not getting there sooner. This is also November 3rd, and Will was taken on November 6th, which Lucas points out he doesn't believe is a coincidence. Now, Eleven and Hopper meet in the Upside Down, and they try to kind of survive that. Joyce questions Will about what he sensed, and Will's kind of fighting against her a little bit. He doesn't want to just be afraid. He doesn't want her to have to watch over him all the time. He wants to be a little bit tougher. He wants to go out on his own. He wants to help. Joyce reminds him that the connection was severed, but he disagrees. Basically, she's saying, no, you can't be part of the hive mind anymore because we defeated Vecna and all that. We defeated that part. That got severed during the last time we defeated him. And Will's like, no, it hasn't. Now, Robin overhears and suggests that he might act like a human receiver, but this is not going to happen. Steve and Jonathan disagree about the different things that they're doing. They're trying to track Hopper and the Upside Down, but they want to go to the hospital to visit Nancy, so that they can kind of talk to her. But as they argue, Dustin arrives and he's been beaten up pretty badly by the bullies. At the hospital, Mike notices a wrinkle in time on the kids' table in one of the rooms, and this is very good because this is what her imaginary friend has kind of been doing, pretending to be this character kind of from A Wrinkle in Time, only in the book it's a girl, and in the series it's this guy, Mr. What's-It. There's tension between Eleven and Hopper because Hopper is furious when he knows that Eleven entered without using the tunnels. He's worried she's gonna get caught. They end up seeing this big, huge wall. This wall inside the Upside Down they can't get past. Lucas is talking to Max, and he's telling her that they need her. Basically, as the Running Up the Hill song plays, Robin and Will search the woods because she got them out of where they're hiding by kind of saying that the flux capacitor is broken and they need to go fix it. So she lied to Will's mom, and they're now out in the woods chasing things, trying to figure out how he can get closer and be this receiver that they need. Mike and Nancy reach Karen's room because they have disguised themselves as candy stripers and a patient. They ask Nancy if she can write, and she nods. And Nancy says Holly is missing and explains they think someone who might know is Mr. What's-It. Will and Robin, of course, reach Holly's school, and when he sees the merry-go-round in the school, he realizes it wasn't the Demogorgon's perspective, it was Holly's. So now he's saying he was inside of Vecna himself. And then we kind of get to see what happens to Holly. Holly standing with Mr. What's-It, who ensures her that he will save her friends, and he leads her towards the Krill house. Karen is meanwhile in the hospital writing the name Henry, and they now understand that Mr. What's-It is in fact Vecna. So then we get from that episode into episode 3. They are trying to do what they can do, and they're tracking the Demogorgon that took little Holly Wheeler. Eleven and Hopper have hit that literal wall, and they can't get past it. So they're trying to do all of that for a while, and something bothering Eleven. They take a prisoner. They try to find out what's going on. Vecna has Holly trapped in his house that he had as a child. It's kind of his memory house, which is really weird. And Hopper and Eleven do find out that Dr. K's military base is in the Upside Down, so they're after her. Vecna leaves Holly because he's off to get his next victim, Derek Turnbow, the bully of her elementary class. Will uses his psychic connection to figure out that Derek is next on Vecna's list. So they have to kidnap the kid. They go to Lucas's little sister, Erica, who's close to the Turnbow family, because his sister was her friend. Then they kind of get the kid because Erica shows up with a pie, and the pie is laced with a drug that's going to put most of the family out, and basically she has to inject her friend Tina because her friend Tina won't eat the pie. Mid their pursuit, the monster makes this full U-turn. The gang can't figure out why. Derek is awake and no longer at his house, so he freaks out. Meanwhile, in the Upside Down, or in this kind of dreamlike state, left alone in Henry's mansion, Holly's sort of changing, doing this montage of different clothes and all this. And she ends up kind of going outside, and there's a note in the mailbox saying, meet him at X through the woods. So she's taking this map, going to meet him, and she ventures out, and she comes across this person that she could see, but this person's not Henry. This person is Max. Max has been trapped in this place the whole time. Now, for the final episode, we kind of learn where Max has been. We learn that Max has been running through Henry's memories and all this. We learn that Max has made this house inside of one of Vecna's memories, a memory that he's actually pretty terrified of. Everything goes haywire in this episode. This is that episode I can't really talk about in abundance because it would just take too long. Basically, everything goes haywire. They're losing bad. Everything that can go wrong is going wrong. We get to see that a couple of them will meet up in the Upside Down during this. They don't know that Max is still alive at this point. Nothing's going right for the group. Every Demogorgon that they run across is winning the battle. They're trying to get the kids out to safety because they don't want the kids inside of this military holding cell, basically, that they have these kids in. They have them all in these bunk beds, really kind of like some summer camp, but that's not what it is. So they actually have Derek helping them in this episode get the kids out through this tunnel in the bathroom floor inside one of the stalls. And they start to go wrong pretty fast in this entire scenario, ultimately leading to the guards figuring out what's happening and trying to capture them as well. And it's really funny because now we get to see all this go wrong because the Demogorgons find them and the Demogorgons are trying to get them. Everything's horrible. 11 is having problems. She's gotten through the one part. Basically, Hopper's going to sacrifice himself. 11 ends up getting through the one door that she couldn't get into in the previous episodes. And Callie is there behind the door. And you might remember Callie was kind of in that special episode where she had this gang and she was kind of one of the people like 11, only she had escaped. And now she's back. So that is actually something that they're repaying here. But outside, everything is still so haywire with the Demogorgons kind of separating everybody. It's become a really bad situation. They're getting the jump on all of our friends. And Vecna walks out into the real world and he kind of grabs Will Byers and he tells Will that basically you're nothing. You're absolutely nothing. You helped me learn something. Kids are weak. They can be my vessels and all of this stuff that he was saying. So basically we know kind of why he wants those kids because he wants to be able to use them. But that's really horrible because now he's kind of won. The Demogorgons are going crazy all over. And then Will is left there kind of in this mess, in this little pile, kind of broken. And he gets up and the Demogorgons that are attacking everybody freeze. And they just explode. That's where our episode ends, because now we know that Vecna did not count on Will Byers. So that's kind of 1 through 4 of this season broken down for you so far. I want to know what you guys thought about it, so definitely let me know. But this is what I think is going to happen. I think there's going to be this time when it's going to look like they're losing again. Basically, I don't think it's just Will that they need. I definitely think that Max is going to play a big part in what goes down. And not only Max, I definitely think that what's going to end up happening is that some of these other kids that we're seeing now are going to play a big part in all of this. And of course, Callie's going to play a big part in it too. I think it's all going to kind of come down to the wire where it's going to look like they're losing. So I actually expect the next couple of episodes to start to look really bad. And then that final episode's going to be like this epic finale where everyone has to pull together to help out. And I don't know if everyone survives this season or not, but so far we've been getting all of our heroes surviving, and that could actually change. The stakes are up there, and we know that Vecna is not opposed to killing our heroes. So what might happen is that we could see some actual casualties. And I think that's a very real thing we could see. Now, that being said, I want to hear what your thoughts are. Did you see these 4 episodes? Did you enjoy them? What do you think is going to happen? Everything that you think, I want to hear. All of your theories, ideas, what you think is actually going to be going on. I want to hear your thoughts. So make sure that you leave me those comments in the comment box below. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this conversation as well. Then, if you're liking positive content, you're going to want to let the algorithm know that by hitting that like button and let them know you want more positive content in your feed. If you're liking our channel personally, then you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a single video we do. Because friends, at the end of the day, I know it and you know it, fandom is family.